All right, the last video we talked about the cell theory and the characteristics of life. So I just want to remind you of the three parts of the cell theory. The cell is the basic unit of structure and function in an organism. All living things are made of cells, and all cells come from other cells. So if something is a living thing, then that means it is made of cells. We can infer from that anything that is made of cells can be classified into one of two categories, and you should remember these from 7th grade. Cells can either be eukaryotic or prokaryotic. Those are the two cell types. Today we're going to talk about eukaryotic cells briefly. Just like you learned last year, eukaryotic cells are the more complex cells that are found in animals, plants, protists, and fungi. Eukaryotic cells are defined as cells that have a nucleus and other membrane-bound organelles. A prokaryotic cell does not have membrane-bound organelles, but a eukaryotic cell does. If you think back to your study of the cell parts and functions last year, you did the big inflatable cell with Mrs. Kern. These were plant and animal cells, also protists and fungi, but you learned mostly about plant and animal cells. They had organelles such as a nucleus where their DNA was contained, ribosomes, mitochondria, chloroplasts, vacuoles, and some others. These are organelles that perform the functions of the cell. These make cells more complex. So you and I are made up of eukaryotic cells, lots of eukaryotic cells. Skin cells are eukaryotic cells. Muscle cells are eukaryotic cells. And all of the plants are made up of eukaryotic cells. Fungus are made up of eukaryotic cells. You typically see eukaryotic cells in more complex beings, things that are multicellular, with the exception of protists. If you remember, protists, for the most part, were single-celled, but they were eukaryotic. They had nucleus, they had organelles that were membrane-bound, like chloroplasts, like mitochondria, that helped them stay alive and perform the functions of life. So that's a review of eukaryotic cells. You should remember this from 7th grade, and tomorrow we'll talk about prokaryotic.